Hey folks, Crazy Climber 80 here again, and this time we're going to look at a game called Cluster Buster. This was created for the DECO Cassette System cabinet in 1983, and it is game number 28 in the DECO Cassette System library. This game was also known as GRAPLOP, and Cluster Buster and GRAPE-PLOP play quite a bit differently, and we'll look at those differences later. And here is the DECO cassette system itself. And the games came on actual cassettes, little mini cassettes that were put in the cabinet, and the game was played off of them. And here is the familiar DECO cassette system boot up screen. We will not wait all the way through this. I used to do that in other DECO cassette system game videos, and it takes too long. We don't need to sit through the whole thing, so we'll stop this part way and skip to 1. When it counts down all the way to 1, the game will stop there for about 20-25 seconds or so, and then we'll go down to 2 and then 1. It'll stay here for a little bit, and then the game will begin. Well, it won't begin, but it'll go to the attract mode. But we'll start with Cluster Buster, and we'll look at a little bit of GRAPE-PLOP later. There were 2 releases, I guess, of GRAPE-PLOP. I think there was a US prototype and the Japanese version, and both of those are different from each other. But in Cluster Buster, you control this little orb, and it's a ball and paddle game. You bounce a ball off of the orb, and you have rows of bricks below you. And when the bricks are broken through and the ball goes through, you will lose a life. And you need to break these grape formations, and that's where the name GRAPE-PLOP comes from. There's structures of grapes that will plop down when you break them just right. You can move your orb all the way around the screen, and you have a button that you can press, and it'll allow you to bounce the ball a different way. And you can bounce it just without that button's use. There will be spiders that are on the grape formations, and they will drop down when you are below them directly, and when they touch you, you lose a life. You just want to make it through until the whole structure has descended fully. You don't have to break all the bricks. In fact, that's really tough to do. But they just need to descend all the way to the bottom of the screen. Yeah, as the game says, you can trap that ball up in the corner, and if you bounce it back without letting it get past you 17 times, a guy will come by and fix 1 layer of the bricks for you. And you will get points at the end of the level, depending on how many bounces you had off of your orb. And you have what are called ups. There is a button that lets you make the screen move back upwards, or make the formations move back upwards. And you have a limited amount of ups. But they will replenish on their own in a very short time. We'll go ahead and get started in just a moment. The music is kind of annoying, and the sound of the spiders falling is very annoying. They get very tough to avoid. I have never seen this in arcades. It's an okay game. I mean, I'm sure a number of puzzle games got an influence from this game. But yeah, once you let the ball make enough of a hole in the floor where it could pass through, you will lose a life when it does. But yeah, you can see the spiders come from those orange eggs. You will die if you touch the grape formations. And you can cause a whole formation of grapes to be destroyed if it can land just right at the top. And yeah, you get a bonus for the amount of bounces you got. And I'm using my ups just to start off, just to show you how they work. But yeah, if you can bounce that ball just right, you might be able to get on the top of a formation and take it out for a bunch of points. And you can't really score much in this game. So knocking out formations is a good idea. If you can, as stated before, if you can bounce the ball 17 times and make that guy appear, he will not only repair one layer of the top layer of the bricks, but he will give you, was it 2001 points after he goes all the way from the right to the left. But if you die before he gets there, all the way to the left, you don't get the points. And he can't repair the whole layer of bricks, I guess. And I'm not going to be able to get that other formation. I think you get a bonus if you destroy all the last formations on the screen. Yeah, I'd seen a number of DECO Cassette games, but I hadn't seen this one. I hadn't seen Cluster Buster or GRAPLOP. I'm going to assume it's pronounced GRAPLOP, because there are clearly grapes, and the game even says they're grapes in the attract mode. But yeah, those spiders, the noise they make is really annoying. And they get faster and faster as the game progresses. You get an extra life at 20,000 points. After 20,000, I'm not sure if it's every 20,000 or every other 20,000. When you die, now this sucks. When you lose a life, that whole if you had a hole all the way to the bottom, like that the ball might have gone through, that hole will still be there. So you need to get the ball bounced back up 17 times so you can get the guy to repair it. Those spiders get really fast and really annoying, and that music, that tune they make, is just insufferable. Well, I'm almost to that extra life. Can I make it? Boy, there's a big old hole that ball can go through and cost me a life. Oh, getting lucky there. Hey, I got the extra life. And now I go to pattern number 5. Or no, this is pattern 4, excuse me. But yeah, that's Cluster Buster. And we will look at both versions of GRAPLOP. The US prototype version, I believe it's a prototype, and then the Japanese version. Oops. GRAPLOP made an appearance on the video game show Starcade. Might have been on more than just one episode. I only got to watch that show once during its original run. Yeah. It was on cable, and it was it was on really, really early in the morning for some reason, so I was only able to get up and watch it once. It was on at like 5 or 6 in the morning for some reason. It's a cool game show. They've got a website that has all the Starcade episodes, or shows all the games that were on that show. I've made a video of almost all those games that were on there. Whoa, can I keep it from going through the hole? Can I keep from getting trapped? No, nope. Game over. But yeah, don't forget you have ups, and there's a button you press to make the formations go back up. And you have limited ups, but you will get them, or you will get more shortly. That's Cluster Buster for the DECO Cassette System by Daddy East in 1983. And now let's look at we saw the beginning of the guy that comes by and repairs a layer of bricks. And we'll have a look at the US version of GRAPLOP. And it's crappy. It looks unfinished. And it plays different from the Japanese version of GRAPLOP. You get an extra life at 15,000 in this. Now there are no bricks to have to worry about in GRAPLOP, either this version or the Japanese version. And in this you have this weird, it looks like a spinning multicolored ball, maybe like an ABA basketball. And you have to worry about debris falling. It will kill you. And you can't touch the GRAPLOP patterns. And if you hold a button, your ball will be invisible, or invincible, and almost invisible. And you can hold it down as long as you want, and you just go right through the patterns. That's really stupid. So yeah, like I said, this might be a prototype. It just seems unfinished. See, I'm holding down that button and I'm going through all these formations. You just play endlessly that way. That's really stupid. In this version, I think if you touch the strings holding up the patterns, you will get killed. But yeah, it plays much different from Cluster Buster. And you can just keep on holding that invincibility button. Frickin' stupid. But we're going to go ahead and look at the Japanese version of GRAPLOP in just a moment. And I initially called this GRAPLOP, but really these are grape formations, so I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be pronounced GRAPLOP. But we'll have a brief look at the Japanese GRAPLOP. But in this one, you have the ups. You didn't have them in the US GRAPLOP. Falling debris is fatal. There's no breakable floors. And there is a bonus for clearing the final pieces, a perfect bonus. And in this one, if you get those 17 bounces off of your orb, then it's not some random guy coming by to repair your floor. And well, he doesn't repair the floor in this one, but the Burgertime chef will appear, and he will grant you 2,001 points. Peter Pepper is his name. If you clear a giant chunk of formation, and this has different looking formations, these aren't grapes here, doesn't look like it anyway, but if you clear a giant formation of blocks or whatever they are, they look like Pac-Man when they drop, sometimes. And there's the Burgertime chef, Peter Pepper. And he will give me 2,001 points. But he has to go all the way from the right to the left to award it to you. Well, maybe it was the Cluster Buster version that they look like Pac-Man when the formations drop. But in this one, again, you can also do the super bounce button to make it bounce funny. Well, that was Cluster Buster by Dad East for the DECO Cassette System in 1983. Hope you enjoyed, and I hope you have a great week, everybody. I'll see you soon with another video. Take care, folks. Bye-bye.